Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a relationship, giving it everything, only to have it ripped away because someone decided you weren't, good enough based on their idea of success. Feel that sting, that doubt. And then just 2 years later, you watch as the very people who dismissed you, well, their carefully built lives start to crumble. It's like cosmic justice almost. Welcome, everyone, to The Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into this incredible story that landed in our inbox. It really feels less like just someone's experience and more like, I don't know, a modern epic. It's packed with connection, ambition, betrayal, and this absolutely astonishing comeback. It's not just a breakup story, though. It goes deeper.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fascinating look at class, status, the allure of what looks like security versus genuine connection. What's so compelling is how this person's journey gives us this really detailed case study. We're going to unpack how rejection, really sharp rejection, can actually fuel massive change.
Exactly. And that idea of security versus real strength and the satisfaction of building something on your own terms.
Right. So our mission here is to pull out those big insights. We'll follow the story from the beginning, the hopeful parts, through the really dramatic turns, right up to this incredibly satisfying ending.
Okay, let's dive in.
The unlikely romance and the looming shadow.
So it starts with our protagonist. He's 29, a computer engineer who'd already made that jump into being a startup founder. And he was with Bianca, 28, for 4 years. Their meet cute sounds, well, almost like something from a movie, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Classic rom-com setup. But even then, you can sense this undercurrent, this tension simmering away.
Yeah, like their worlds were just miles apart from day one.
Completely. So they meet in college. She's doing business management at a private school, established world. He's a computer science scholarship kid. And he paints this picture, right? Living on instant noodles, energy drinks, just dreaming of building the next big thing in tech.
And the coffee spill. She spills coffee on his laptop in the library.
Right. And instead of freaking out, he makes a joke, and somehow that turns into a 4-year relationship, or what she thought was a solid relationship.
But those background differences, the values, they were already there, creating these little cracks, even if they didn't see it.
Fault lines, definitely. And he wasn't totally oblivious either, especially about her family, the Whitmores.
No, he says it straight up. I always knew that Bianca's family didn't like me. I wasn't blind. They were too polished for outright insults. Yeah, it was more subtle.
Oh, way more insidious. Those looks, the condescending smiles he mentions, and how conversations always magically steered towards the successful men in their circle whenever he was around.
Painfully obvious, he called it. Designed to make him feel small, like he didn't belong.
Exactly. And that one example he gives, Mrs. Whitmore introducing him as just Bianca's friend from college.
After 2 years together.
Right. That wasn't an accident. It was a public dismissal, a signal he wasn't, worthy of being part of their world. It really highlights that deep class thing going on.
But the interesting part is, early on, Bianca seemed different, or at least he believed she was. He thought she saw past the old money, the golf clubs, the whole status is everything mentality. He says she even made fun of her parents sometimes.
Yeah, rolled her eyes at the country club drama, seemed to share his outsider view, and their moments together sounded, well, real.
Cuddling in his shabby studio with the leaky bathroom, takeout on the futon, Netflix on an old computer. Simple stuff.
And she'd tell him, apparently, quite convincingly, that money didn't matter, that she loved him.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? This shared life they were building.
It does. Their place, that third-floor walk-up in a not-so-great neighborhood, loud neighbors and all, but they made it theirs with fairy lights and posters.
And the cat, Pixel, this old alley cat he rescued.
Who she secretly loved, even though she claimed to be a dog person. Those little details show a genuine connection, right? A shared, if maybe modest, reality.
Yeah, but you see those cracks forming, like you said. Individual values versus that constant, quiet pressure from her family.
Exactly. It's like a pressure cooker. She said money didn't matter, but her family's influence was just relentless, slowly wearing her down, testing how deep those convictions really went.
The audition dinner and the unraveling.
Okay, so the beginning of the end really kicks off with this casual family dinner.
Yeah.
His words, not mine, at her parents' huge estate. And casual it was not. He describes people wearing watches worth more than his car, a beat-up 2008 Honda Civic with a check engine light permanently on.
Right. The contrast is just brutal. They're sipping wine that probably costs a fortune, talking about weekend trips to the Hamptons or Aspen like it's nothing.
While his big weekly outing is the laundromat, it feels like it was designed to highlight that gap, maybe even intimidate him.
Absolutely deliberate. Bianca pushed him to go, saying it was just family, that her parents were really trying.
Uh-huh. Red flag right there when she asked him to wear a blazer. His only one, borrowed shoes.
He should have known. Steps inside and boom. Not just family. Dad's business partners, their sons who were already killing it in finance, law, real estate.
The American dream on steroids. LinkedIn profiles, he calls them. Goldman Sachs internships. Dad's playing golf with senators.
Meanwhile, he's still grinding on his startup, running on fumes, and maybe the occasional burrito. No fancy ski trips to report.
The whole thing was just set up to make him feel inadequate, wasn't it? A comparison game.
Totally calculated. Not about connection, just showcasing their kind of success and measuring him against it. The stage was set for those targeted attacks.
Yeah, the warning signs were there, but this dinner was the moment it all became undeniable. The tension, you could cut it with a knife. He remembers her dad swirling whiskey, asking, "So, still working on that little tech project?" Just drip him with condescension.
And he tries to play it cool, right?
Yeah.
Corrects him, startup, believes out the part about the failed investor meeting and the 80-hour weeks fixing bugs.
Then some other guy chimes in, all tanned and smirking. Tech is so volatile. Sure, that's a wise investment of your time. Maybe get a backup plan.
Delivered like a knife, not advice, just meant to undermine him.
And this is where Bianca's reaction, or lack thereof, is so telling.
Absolutely critical moment. He says she shifted uncomfortably, so she knew it was bad, but she didn't defend me.
Which was totally unlike her, right? Before, she would have jumped in.
Fiercely. Praised his passion, her belief in him. But this time, silence. Just sipped her wine, studied the flowers, basically left him hanging.
Prioritizing her comfort, or maybe just paralyzed by the pressure.
Either way, it was a huge shift. And then Adrien walks in.
Ugh, Adrien. Introduced by mom like he's royalty. Junior partner at Goldstein and Burke. Princeton, brilliant mind.
Might as well have read his resume aloud. And then Mrs. Whitmore strategically seats him right next to Bianca. You two have so much in common.
Subtle. So subtle. And our guy's stuck at the end of the table feeling like he's watching his own life fall apart from the outside.
He gets it then. The whole dinner was an audition, showing Bianca her options. Quote, real men with real futures, not him.
Painting this picture, life with Adrien versus life with him. Stability versus struggle.
And Adrien plays his part perfectly. Bragging about his bonus, his fancy apartment, his guaranteed path to senior partner.
While our guy has, well, nothing that compares in their eyes. Every time he tries to talk, they politely ignore him and pivot back to Adrien or someone else in their circle.
But the real gut punch for him wasn't even the digs, it was Bianca.
Yeah. She didn't defend him. Not once. Instead, he watches her laugh at Adrien's terrible jokes, ask about his job, seem genuinely interested in his stories.
Stories about law school, high-profile cases.
And he realizes she had never shown that kind of interest in my startup. Never. Ouch.
Double ouch. The ride home, the mood is just broken. The connection's gone.
And suddenly she's complaining about things she never cared about before. The broken elevator, the small bathroom.
Even Pixel the cat jumping on the bed becomes an issue. These weren't real problems before. It's like her whole perspective shifted overnight.
The family pressure finally broke through.
Seems like it. A week later, the talk. She shows up at his place, still in her work clothes from the job her dad's friend gave her. No interview needed.
The irony. Sitting at their little IKEA table, the one they built together, where they shared dreams and takeout.
And she gives this rehearsed speech. No real emotion, just words. I love you, but I need stability.
Yeah.
Can't keep waiting. My family made me realize.
He finishes it for her. Someone like Adrien.
And she just nods, doesn't deny it. Fiddles with some new expensive watch he's never seen.
Tries the whole, it's not just about the money line.
Which they both knew was, as he put it, bullshit. She tries to spin it as needing a plan, a secure future.
This really makes you wonder, right? How much was her choice? How much was just years of pressure?
The rehearsed speech, the nepotism job.
Yeah.
It points to a deeper influence, doesn't it? That whole system she grew up in.
And his reaction, just, okay.
Yeah, he says he could have fought, begged, promised things.
Okay.
But something just snapped. He was empty.
And she seemed almost disappointed that he didn't fight for her.
Maybe. But he had nothing left to give her at that point. It was over.
Rock bottom and the phoenix's ashes.
And then, wow, the speed of the betrayal. Just 2 days later, 2.
Unbelievable. She makes it social media official with Adrien. Matching outfits, fancy hotel in the Hamptons.
The caption, found my soulmate. Just brutal.
While he's still, dealing with the ghost of her in his apartment, sleeping on her side, finding her hair, buying her cereal out of Abbott. The contract is sickening.
And he's honest. He didn't immediately turn into some motivated machine. He hit rock bottom.
Hard. His startup collapses a month later. Investors pulled out after a demo failed. Just devastating timing.
Loses the apartment, can't afford it. Self-worth completely shredded.
This is where his friend Luke really steps up, though.
Yeah, crashes at Luke's place, which is even smaller. Luke clears out half his closet, lets him bring Pixel the cat. No complaints.
Now that's a true friend, he says. And he's absolutely right. That's real support.
But even then, he admits to this, masochistic thing of watching her life online. Couldn't stop himself.
Couldn't block her. Just kept seeing the lavish vacations, the expensive dinners, the gifts.
Every post felt like a middle finger, like she was flaunting it. See, this is what I deserve, not you.
And the worst part, he started believing her family. That maybe they were right, that he was a failure, had nothing to show for it, that Adrien deserved it all.
That self-doubt creeping in, fed by her Instagram feed, it's a vicious cycle.
Absolutely brutal psychologically. And then comes the lowest point, that encounter at the coffee shop.
Oh, man. The irony. He's there picking up an Uber Eats order, his new reality, sweating, car's AC broken, phone dying.
And there they are, Bianca and Adrien, outside, laughing, holding hands, looking like they stepped out of a magazine. New haircut, designer sunglasses.
Worlds apart. She sees him, stops laughing. Their eyes meet.
He thought he saw something, maybe guilt, maybe regret, just for a second.
But then, that polite smile, the one you give the staff, or someone you barely know, like he was nobody.
Some sad stranger she used to know. That dismissal right there, that's the moment.
Okay, this is it. The absolute turning point. That single look didn't crush him. It ignited something, right?
Yeah.
What happens psychologically there? How does humiliation become fuel?
It's fascinating. It's like that public exposure, that final cold dismissal. Instead of breaking him, it somehow forged steel in his spine. He walked away totally changed.
He decided right then. That moment broke something in me. It was the last day I allowed myself to be a joke.
Goes back to Luke's, deletes all the social media apps. Done. Cuts off the poison drip.
Done feeling sorry for myself, done obsessing, done with the excuses.
And it wasn't about revenge then, not really. It was about reclaiming himself. Proving his worth to herself. Not for her, not for them, for him.
The Phoenix moment. Rising from the ashes of that coffee shop encounter.
Exactly.
The ascent of a phoenix. Silent grind to industry disruption.
So from that point, he goes into what he calls full-on rebuild mode. No messing around. The schedule was insane. 4 hours sleep, 2 jobs, Uber Eats, overnight stalking, and every other second. Rebuilding the startup.
But smarter this time. Way smarter. No more chasing investors with half-baked ideas. He learned to bootstrap.
Which means basically funding it himself, right?
Yeah.
Sweat equity.
Exactly. Relying on savings, early revenue, sheer hard work, it forces you to be lean, resourceful, focused on actual value, not just hype. Build something real first.
And he learned not to trust so easily. Kept his circle tiny. Luke, a few loyal friends, that's it.
Worked in silence, cut out distractions, negative people, just laser focused on results.
And Luke was just amazing through all this, bringing coffee, making sure he ate, letting his living room be an office.
Even help with contacts later on. And Luke found his own success too, which is a great side story. Got his dream job, bought a house. Real recognizes real, maybe.
So for 2 years, our guy is basically off the grid, grinding in silence. But it wasn't just about the business, was it? It felt like a total identity shift.
It really was. It highlights that power of focused, silent effort. Completely different from the public performance of success Bianca and Adrien were doing.
No external validation needed, just solving a real problem. And the new startup idea came from his failure.
Yeah, ironically. Pivoted away from flashy consumer stuff to B2B legal tech, an AI tool for contract analysis.
AI that could do in seconds what took lawyers hours. Sounds useful.
Hugely useful. It's not just keyword search. It's understanding context, spotting risks, automating the grunt work.
He called it unsexy, unglamorous work that nobody posts about, but it solved a real pain point he'd experienced himself. That was the key.
Exactly. Focusing on substance, not sizzle. And then suddenly it clicked. Product market fit.
That's the magic moment for a startup, isn't it?
The holy grail. When your product just works for the market, it sells itself, grows organically. Customers love it, need it, pay for it.
It started with a viral article, a big client testimonial.
And then the floodgates opened. Companies calling him, investors calling him. His little tech project was suddenly competing directly with firms like Adrien's.
And Adrien had no idea what was coming.
Not a clue. Our guy reflects on those 2 years, the grind, the doubt, wondering if Bianca's family was right.
But he kept going. Built an incredible team who believed in the vision, worked just as hard. became like family. Inside jokes, beer on Fridays, war stories.
That's a real company culture,
Yeah.
built on shared struggle and success. Then things exploded. Landed a top 5 law firm as a client. Huge validation.
More contracts, more investors wanting in, industry buzz, expanded internationally, London, Singapore.
And the killer twist. Their biggest disruption was in financial law tech, Adrien's exact sector.
His AI tools were making junior associates, guys like Adrien, starting out, kind of, obsolete, automating the work they built careers on.
So he wasn't just competing, he was threatening the whole model of Adrien's firm. And Adrien, still blissfully ignorant about who was behind it all. The irony is just chef's kiss.
The tables turn. First encounters and realizations.
The first time he sees Bianca again after those 2 years. Pure drama. An exclusive industry event. A year before, he couldn't even afford a ticket. Now, he's the keynote speaker, center stage.
Talking about how his tech is changing everything, and he looks the part too. Suit that, this time, fit me perfectly. A symbol of his transformation.
Sees Bianca's parents in the crowd, and their reaction, priceless.
Totally different. The smugness. Gone. Replaced by shock, maybe dawning realization. Mom freezes mid-sip of champagne.
Dad, who mocked him before, gives this slow nod, like grudging respect. Like now he's finally worthy because he has money and status.
It just shows how shallow their judgment always was, right? Based purely on external success.
And then he sees Bianca, off to the side, frozen, staring like she's seen a ghost. Still beautiful, he notes, but that carefree Instagram smile, gone.
She doesn't approach him. He doesn't approach her. But he sees her expression shift. Shock, realization, and then regret. Undesirable regret.
That's the moment, isn't it? His success reflecting back the emptiness of her choice.
Exactly. And apparently from that night on, things went south for Bianca and Adrien. Fast. Mutual friends spilled the details.
Relationship was already shaky, just held together by image. Adrien turned out to be cold, controlling, image-obsessed, treated her like an accessory.
She loved the glamour at first, the trips, the validation, but once the shine wore off, reality hit hard.
He was never home, always networking, maybe with female colleagues.
And the control over money. She had no independence. He told her how to dress, who to talk to.
And her parents sided with Adrien. The very people who pushed her toward him. Adrien was the new trophy.
Just awful. So Bianca gave up everything for security and ended up miserable. The golden handcuffs were on tight, as he puts it.
It really makes you question that whole pursuit, doesn't it? Was it ever really about security or just status? And look where it got her.
Trapped. She got what her family wanted but lost herself. A cautionary tale about compromising your values.
Then, a few months later, the Whitmores start trying to get back in touch. They're panicking, too.
The loser is now richer and more powerful than anyone they know and messing with their industry. They want damage control, or maybe a piece of the action.
Subtle attempts first. Mom's polite email. Dad praising him in an interview, promising entrepreneur, invited him to another event. He ignored it all.
Then Dad calls him directly. He answers out of curiosity.
And the dad starts with this patronizing my boy stuff. Talking business opportunities. Let bygones be bygones.
Purely self-serving. Then he gets to the real point. Listen, Bianca made a mistake. She's going through a tough time. Maybe you two should talk.
And he just hangs up. Mid-sentence.
Boom. No apology, no accountability, just trying to use him. He wasn't playing their game anymore. Last time he ever took their call. Done.
The comeback. Confrontation and finality.
Okay, so next scene. Another industry event. He accepts the invitation this time, shows up fashionably late. Power move. Sees Bianca and Adrien again. But Adrien looks rough, stressed, tense, glued to his phone.
Because his firm is tanking. Our protagonist company is stealing their clients left and right with that AI tech.
And Adrien still doesn't know he's the reason. The delicious irony continues.
But Bianca knows. He sees it the second their eyes meet across the room. That regret from before. It's way worse now. Full-blown anguish. She sees her secure future crumbling right in front of her.
A week later, she reaches out, texts him. Hey, been a while. Can we talk?
He ignores it. She tries again. No, things ended badly. Miss our conversations. Ignored again.
Then she goes for broke. Shows up at his office, 8 p.m. after hours.
He almost sends her away. But then realizes, no, this is the moment for closure. Lets her come up.
The contrast must have been staggering. Her, timid now, in his huge corner office with the amazing views, versus their old tiny apartment.
He says her confidence was just gone. Shattered. Not the arrogant girl who dumped him. She looked nervous, smaller.
And she confesses, I was wrong, listened to my family, threw away something real for something fake.
Searching his face for any sign of the old connection, whispers, I miss you. I miss our story.
Then the big ask, maybe we could start over. Hope flickering in her eyes.
And his reaction, he laughs. Not angry, not bitter, just amused.
Yeah.
Liberated laughter.
Leans back in his chair. Start over. Bianca, our story ended the day you chose them. Didn't want me broke, didn't believe in me struggling. But now that I'm successful, now you want back in.
Her face just crumples. He stands up, buttons his expensive suit jacket, maybe from Adrien's tailor, who knows.
His voice calm, final. Bianca, I don't think about you. I don't miss you. And I certainly don't need you.
Mic drop.
Wow. That rejection. It wasn't about hurting her, was it? It was about stating his own earned self-worth. He didn't need her validation anymore. At all. That shift is incredible. From seeking acceptance to just being enough on his own. True vindication isn't making them regret. It's releasing yourself from needing them to.
Exactly. And then the final, almost movie-like twist. The office door opens.
His new girlfriend walks in. The brilliant product designer he met who believed in him back when he had nothing.
He describes her warmly. Beautiful, intelligent woman who outshone Bianca in every possible way.
Turns to his girlfriend with this genuine smile, then looks back at Bianca's devastated face.
And delivers the line. You see, I did find someone on my level. It just turns out it wasn't you.
Walks her to the door, closes it, end scene, but not the end of the fallout.
Oh no. Weeks later, the industry is buzzing. Adrien's firm is in deep trouble. Our guy's AI tech is just eating their lunch. Faster, cheaper, better.
Adrien's firm is bleeding clients, bleeding money. Partners are panicking. He hears Adrien is freaking out, working insane hours, yelling at staff.
Investors are pulling out. They see the writing on the wall. But Adrien still hasn't put it together. Still doesn't know who's doing this to him.
Until that conference, our guy's on a panel. Some big CEO praises his company, mentions legacy players struggling. Camera pans to Adrien.
His face drains of color. Shock, horror, realization hits him like a truck. He finally gets it.
Later that night, Adrien completely loses it in a meeting. A mutual contact texts our guy, Adrien just lost his shit.
Someone mentioned our guy's company's competition, and Adrien just explodes, screaming, calling him a lucky hack. Everyone sees it then. Adrien's done. He's the past. Our guy is the future.
Checkmate move. His company acquires a smaller rival firm to Adrien's, poaches their remaining big clients.
Adrien's firm collapses, forced into a merger within a month. He's not a partner anymore, just an employee, doing the grunt work he thought he escaped.
And Bianca, stuck, married to the guy whose career just imploded, the security she chased, gone. Just like she left our guy when he had nothing. The irony is just complete. Outro.
So in the end, he won. Not just the business game, building this powerhouse company from scratch, but personally. Rebuilt himself, found real happiness on his terms.
That final encounter in the airport lounge, so symbolic. He's waiting for his first-class flight to Tokyo for expansion, sees her, alone, no designer stuff, just looking tired, older. The perfect life clearly wasn't so perfect.
She sees him. Hope flashes in her eyes. She starts to stand up, maybe to try one last time.
He just shakes his head, quietly, finally, turns, boards his flight, never look back.
Powerful. He reflects later. I didn't need to destroy Bianca. She did it to herself. Traded real love for status, and the status evaporated.
Adrien, the perfect provider, now just trying to survive professionally their glamorous life, reduced to mediocrity.
Well, he has it all. The dominant company, true friends, life built with integrity, and a partner who believed in him.
Never answered her last messages. Because the best revenge, it wasn't ruining her life, it was simply living mine, better, happier, and without her.
It really forces you, the listener, to ask, what is success? What is security? Is it the external stuff, the validation? Or is it inner strength, resilience, real connections? This story makes a strong case for the latter.
Yeah. It's a huge reminder for all of us, isn't it? Sometimes the best response, the deepest win, isn't revenge, it's just flourishing. Building a life so good, so yours, that their opinion becomes completely irrelevant. Think about that quiet power of building something authentic, something that matters to you, free from what others expect. Where in your own life might you be chasing someone else's definition of success?
And what could you gain? What freedom could you find by letting go of that external pressure and focusing purely on what truly matters to you? Something to think about.